Kaleidoscope, a weekly public affairs program brought to you in partnership with the Urban League of Greater Cleveland, Kaleidoscope Magazine, and News Channel 5.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the broadcast today. The president and the CEO of the United Way of Greater Cleveland is here, Bill Kitson. He's fairly new to our community, but he's here this morning to talk about the organization United Way and its mission. We'll also hear from Lauren Gore and John Dolan. They, along with Richard Sexton, are co-authors of the Soldier's Financial Leadership Guide. It's quite a book, I will tell you about that. And later on the broadcast after that, Robin Martin and Nakia Robinson are here to tell us about a new campaign encouraging parents to register their children early for kindergarten. Good morning again. I'm Leon Bibb. This is Kaleidoscope. And so we begin with Bill Kitson, President and CEO of United Way of Greater Cleveland. Good to have you with us. Yeah. And welcome to Cleveland.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Just a few months you've been in the job, right?
That's right. Since last summer.
Yeah. And before Cleveland, United Way, what were you doing?
I was at the United Way in Toledo as their president, and I've been with United Way almost 25 years now.
Well, that's good. You know your way around. You know your way through United Way,
yes.
I guess I should say. Tell me about the mission of United Way. What is its mission?
Well, United Way's mission is to help the community care for itself. We mobilize resources, and the most famous way we do that is our annual campaign. But there are other ways you can mobilize a community to action, through volunteerism and also through advocacy, like we did this fall when we asked the community to support the Cleveland Municipal School Levy. We point all that at impact, try to create change in our community and drive education, income, and health, making sure that it's a great community for all.
And you have a bunch of programs and services that
Absolutely.
you provide.
Yeah, when you work with United Way, we're reaching out to neighborhood organizations, we're reaching out to different agencies and asking them what they're involved in and using the support that we get through the annual campaign to help them advance their work in the community. And ultimately, we use our United Way 211 helpline as a way for the community to get connected to information and referral services. Last year,
Go ahead.
250,000 calls last year. People in need called asking for help. The #1 call continues to be food, but we're still getting calls for people needing homeless shelter and rent assistance and utility assistance, and it's a way for someone who suddenly faces something that they never thought they would to reach out and get help.
Tell us about that 211 phone call. A lot of people may not be aware of
That's
what,
right.
If you dial 211, what happens?
It is really that simple. 211 on your phone, and you'll be connected to our 24/7, 365 days a year phone system. Someone will answer your call, and the one thing they're going to ask you is, can you give me your zip code, so that we can make sure the information we give you is directed to where you are. And that zip code will help us make sure that we get on the right list so that you can get the help and support you need.
When you don't know who to call, dial 211.
Absolutely.
And 211 operator will tell you exactly where you need to go.
Exactly.
Okay, well, that's a good thing. What about money? Have you raised a lot of money this time for the United Way of Greater Cleveland?
Well, a few weeks ago we announced at our annual meeting that the campaign made its goal. Our goal was $41 million, which was a 2.2% increase over last year. We raised $41,405,000 and change. It was a 3.2% increase, the largest increase in our community campaign in a decade.
What's that tell you about the United Way? What's that tell you about, not so much the United Way, but what's that tell you about the greater Cleveland community?
Well, this is a caring community. It started United Way. I mean, it is the essence of how you care for your community. Companies are very generous and supportive. They ask their employees to reach into their pocket to help their community, and it really is a way for us to rally around issues to make an impact in our community. And that campaign this year, I think, demonstrated that Cleveland's coming out of the financial situation it was facing, and it's reaching out to its community to help one another.
Now, most of those dollars go toward helping people.
Oh, absolutely.
Give us an idea of how those dollars are spent in helping people.
Well, our volunteers take very seriously the stewardship of those dollars, and so at a basic level, we're going to make sure that the agencies we're giving money to are delivering on the promise. So there are outcomes and measurements that they have to meet. We're going to make sure that they're targeted on the things that are most important in our communities. So they're going to be focused on the needs that are most important. So we're going to make sure that we're doing work in neighborhoods. We're going to make sure that we're helping kids. We're going to make sure that we're helping seniors. And as we get further into this work, we're going to fine-tune that and target that even more so that we can make sure that the impact we're having is really noticeable and measurable in our community.
A myriad of services, too.
Absolutely.
All, I mean, across the board.
Across the board. It's over 100 different agencies. It's over 200 different programs. It really is the kind of stuff that creates a better community for all of us.
I want to put a phone number on the screen where you can get more information, and you certainly can send a check to United Way as well.
That's right.
Yeah, 216-436-2100. You can make a phone call to get more information on everything we're talking about with United Way, or you can go to UnitedWayCleveland.org, UnitedWayCleveland.org, and get more information on everything we've been talking about. As the new president and CEO, what do you envision as you look down the road?
Well, I envision an opportunity for us to take Cleveland to that engagement place. People want to be engaged in their community, and we have an opportunity to help them. And so, yes, your money's important. Thank you very much. But your time and your voice add value as well. And the young generation, the young professionals that are entering the workforce now, they want more. They want to be engaged in their community beyond just writing a check, but they want to get their hands dirty and get involved. And we can facilitate that in a way that can really advance our community. So that engagement strategy is going to be important. And then where that impact happens in our community. So you have all these engaged folks. Where do you point them? What are they going to do? And it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that we have to focus on our kids. We really need to get moving forward. And at our most recent board retreat, our board members were very concerned about the education of our kids and really what should we be doing to help all the school districts around us make sure that our kids are graduating.
You know, one of the things you and I were talking about before we started this broadcast was when I was a kid a long, long time ago, we had what was called the community chest.
Right.
It was the forerunner of the United Appeal, then the United Way, but it is the great-grandfather of what we're talking about today. And we were giving money to Cleveland then. It all began right here in Cleveland. You've got quite a foundation to stand on.
Absolutely. We're so lucky to be here in Cleveland, and the opportunity to do great work, to make an impact, the history and legacy of amazing leaders before me and before our volunteers, really is a tremendous time to be here and to really make an impact.
We can give through our company right here at Channel 5, we can give to United Way through our company payroll. They will deduct so much a month out of the payroll and send it to United Way to wherever we want it to go. We make that selection.
Well, the essence of United Way is you look at that $41 million number and you go, oh, they don't need my help. But truly, that $41 million comes from $1 a week out of a paycheck, $2 a week out of a paycheck. It's almost 80,000 donors coming together, and that little itty bit adds up to an awful lot. And when you and your neighbor and your friend come together, you really can change a community.
As we continue to wrap up, as we get ready to wrap up our conversation with you, give us a final thought on the importance of United Way and why you think it is so vital for the people out there to be involved with it.
The reality is our United Way is the way for a community to take care of itself and to care. And so as we take a look at the overwhelming issues facing our community, it's your United Way that's willing to stand into the breach, to make an impact, and to bring everybody along. Everyone has to participate in this to make it work.
We can be the difference between life and death.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Bill Kitson, President and CEO of the United Way of Greater Cleveland. Good to have you with us, and good to have you in Cleveland.
Thank you very much.
Welcome to town. Already doing wonderful things, too. Thank you, Bill. We're going to take a break right now. In a moment, we will continue our discussion. We're talking about financial planning for soldiers and others in the military. Back after this. Good to have you with us, and welcome back to Kaleidoscope today. The Soldier's Financial Leadership Guide is filled with practical information geared to individuals in the military. Written by John Dolan, Lauren Gore, and Richard Sexton, the book covers a wide range of financial information from fixing your credit score to TSP versus Roth or traditional IRA. Well, the authors are in the U.S. Army, or they are involved with the U.S. Army. They are with me today, and they're talking about the Soldier's Financial Leadership. I've got Lauren Gore sitting on the left and John Dolan sitting on the right. And you guys are not in the military right now, but you talk about military stuff, correct?
I'm still active duty, sir.
You're still in?
I am. I still am.
Whereabout are you?
I'm teaching at St. John's University as an assistant professor of military science.
And what about you, Lauren?
I'm currently a first-year student at Harvard Law School, and I just finished my military service.
Just getting out. So you're still in, just getting out.
Yes,
sir.
But you are also sons of military men as well.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Absolutely.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the Soldier's Financial Leadership Guide, the book that you brought with me. Well, what inspired you to write this book?
Well, that's an excellent question. And really the inspiration, it started on a small individual level, where we arrived at our first duty stations in upstate, me in upstate New York. And I was preparing myself for the physical and mental challenges that would certainly be there for a combat deployment. And what I found on a daily basis were the financial challenges that my soldiers faced. So I was responsible for 40 soldiers and their families. And really what I was dealing with on a daily basis were the financial struggles that they dealt with, the same way that Americans every day deal with these same financial challenges.
Yeah. And Lauren, speak to this a little bit about what military people need to keep in mind.
Absolutely. I think what we tried to do with the book was take the 15 most pertinent topics. So as you mentioned, the IRAs, the savings, the housing choices, and create a base of information so that conversations can start. You know, that has been such a formative experience in my life, having conversations with people about the things that matter.
When I was in the military a long time ago, I knew when I came out, there was a lot of guys who did not know, and women too, I suppose, who did not understand all the benefits that they were able to get if only they applied for them. Right. And you're trying to tell these folks that there are benefits out there that you can get in the military and even once you are out of the military as a veteran, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, it provides one of the most unbelievable life choices to be in the service, as you well know. I mean, you've been there, and thank you for your service.
Oh, my pleasure. Lauren, what's one of the big things where veterans drop the ball, or members in the military drop the ball?
Sure. You know, it's difficult to say that they drop the ball, but I will say they are missed opportunities. And I can use my story as an example. Currently, I'm at law school, and I'm taking advantage of the GI Bill. So part of my tuition, part of my living expenses are covered by benefits that the Army had granted me. And so I wouldn't be able to live the life I live or study as hard as I study if it wasn't for the benefits that the military provides. And in order to take advantage of those benefits, I had to know where to apply, when to apply, who to talk to. Those things all mattered.
And how long that GI Bill credit is available for you? Is there a length of time that it is available for you?
Absolutely, and it's a period of time that'll shift based on how many years you've accrued. So if you are eligible for your full GI benefit by state, then you'd be eligible for a full, basically for college. But that all depends on the amount of time you've spent in the service and how much of the GI Bill you've accrued.
I will say that I went to graduate school on the GI Bill. I graduated from college, went into the Army, got out of the Army, and Uncle Sam paid for my education in graduate school, majoring in radio and television and film, after I got out the military, after serving in Vietnam. So
an opportunity that too few take advantage of.
What is it that you want people to take away from this interview and from this book?
I want people to recognize that there are people out there trying to change the conversation. We are trying to help soldiers talk from a position of information on these critical issues. We want people to know what the timetable is to accrue your full GI Bill. We want people to know what your credit score means and how you develop it and how it is affected by the things you do. We want people to know that there are soldiers out here, former soldiers in my case, who want other soldiers to improve and for their lives to improve, their financial futures to improve. And so we not only want to get this book in the hands of soldiers, active duty, but we want to touch students before they come into the service so they know what to expect before they step into their unit on day one. We want veterans on their way out to know what they can take advantage of, like myself. You know, there may be opportunities to go to school and live your dream, but you have to be informed. You have to know. And what we've done with this book is we've created a tool to start that conversation.
Where can we buy the book at, John Dolan?
That's a great question. So, of course, it's available on Amazon. LDR, it's Amazon.com. It's also available on LDR Invest. That's our website. And we're really looking for anyone that's interested in either sponsoring soldiers as a unit. It can be 10 soldiers that you'd like to provide the book for, or upwards of 1,000 soldiers. Please reach out to us at LDR Invest and let us know. And really the last opportunity, we've partnered with 2 national nonprofit organizations, the Sergeant Shriver Center and Leave No Veteran Behind, 2 amazing nonprofits. And we're working together to build a financial education curriculum for soldiers and for veterans.
We've kept that website up on the screen, by the way, and it is LDR Invest. You see it at the bottom of the screen. Write this one down, ldrinvest.com. If you've got a military man or woman who's away from Cleveland right now, you might want to write it down. Get this book for them because they certainly can, and send it to them and say, you need to read this. You need to read this. These are part of your marching orders, if we can use those. If we can use that old military term, because this will help them. And you can learn all about your military taxes, how to purchase a home versus rent, active duty, how to pay for college for you and your spouse, all these kinds of things. There's so many benefits out there for members of the military or veterans of the military, but you've got to ask somebody and you've got to be knowledgeable.
Yes,
Absolutely.
Gentlemen, thank you very much for being on the broadcast. ldrinvest.com. And these gentlemen will help you find the way. We've got our marching orders, and we appreciate your service, by the way.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Two
sir.
young soldiers right here. Lauren Gore and John Dolan, both co-authors of the Soldier's Financial Leadership Guide. And thank your other co-author, Richard Sexton, who could not be with us. Thank him as well.
We will, sir.
Okay. Going to take a break right now. This is Kaleidoscope. When we return, I'll be talking about early kindergarten registration in a moment. Welcome back to more of Kaleidoscope today. Several local organizations have forged a partnership focused on early kindergarten registration. Robin Martin is Program Director with Family and Children First Council, and Nakia Robinson is the Social Program Administrator with Invest in Children. They're both here to tell us more about this campaign and explain how parents can register children for kindergarten. Robin Martin sitting on the right and Nakia Robinson sitting on the left. Thank you so much, ladies, for being on the broadcast with us today. Tell me about the campaign to register children early for kindergarten.
Well, March is Early Kindergarten Registration Month, and we decided to pull together the partners from early childhood and the partners from youth development to plan on how we could work together to educate the community and inform parents on registering their children early for kindergarten, whether they're doing it in March or they're doing it between now and the end of the summer. But we wanted them to be armed with information on what the school districts are looking for and how to make registration happen.
What are we talking about when we say early kindergarten now? What age are we talking about?
It depends on the district that you're in, but usually children who turn 5 either by August 1st or September 30th. And when we're looking at early kindergarten registration, we're looking at making sure that families are registered in time to receive the benefits of having their children registered early, including assessments the school districts may want to do so that they can begin planning to support their children to learn in kindergarten.
That's one of the benefits too, right? That there are benefits with registering early, yeah. Well, how do you go about doing this now then? What do you do, Robin?
We ask parents to call 211 or to contact their local school district. And what we found is that of the 31 school districts in Cuyahoga County, most of them have a list of criteria that are consistent across every district. However, some districts require parents to make an appointment to register, while others will take walk-in. Some want you to come to the local school building. Some want you to come to the Board of Education. So to help parents to be ready that initial moment, we want to reduce their frustration and support them as well as supporting the kindergartner. We want them to have the information. So if they call 211, they have the information for all of the school districts. 211 can tell the parent what they need for the district in which they reside.
Yeah. And Nakia, what should they bring some documents along with them regarding the child?
Yeah, most districts would require a birth certificate, a current physical, documentation of immunizations that are up to date, and then again there's that district-specific paperwork, and they can find out about that by calling 211 and being connected to the local school district.
What can a parent do to help with the child with the transition, going from home to kindergarten?
It's a big transition. It's a time of excitement, but it's also a time of anxiety. And so we encourage parents to talk positively about school, share their own school experiences with their children, reading books about kindergarten. There are lots of books about kindergarten so that children can begin to know what to expect. And again, if they're registering early, there's usually an opportunity for the child to visit the classroom early to get to know the building and possibly even meet their teacher beforehand.
Maybe even a little bit of nervousness on mother's part too and dad's part as well, as I recall. This is, we're talking about the entire Cuyahoga County, aren't we?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, this is available to all parents across Cuyahoga County.
Will this early registration campaign continue next year?
Yes.
Yeah.
We actually have been doing it for a couple of years, but this is the first year the early childhood group and the youth development group have come together. And what we realized is that if we work together, we can run a longer campaign versus having early childhood talk about it in March and youth development speak about it in the summer. Now we have a campaign that runs from March all the way through September.
And in our final thoughts here, once we get them in kindergarten, they're on their way, but you need that kindergarten as a strong foundation, right, Nakia?
Absolutely. This is the beginning. We don't want children coming to school anxious or scared. We want them to be excited and happy to start this educational journey.
It's a wonderful time. Kindergarten, I remember it way back then, but it was still memorable. Thank you so much, ladies. Robin Martin and Nakia Robinson talking about the Register Your Youngsters for March into Kindergarten campaign. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, going to take a break right now. Kaleidoscope. I'll be back in a moment. Here with thoughts on what's going on regarding the Urban League of Greater Cleveland, your friend of mine, Marsha Maccabee, its president and CEO. Hey, Marsha.
Hey, Leon. How are you this morning?
Okay, and you're doing well?
I'm doing well, doing well. Want to share with our audience today some exciting things that are going on at the Urban League. I'll tell you, this week, my parking lot was full. Cars were running all over, parked on Prospect, and it was because we have a number of employers who have come to the table with us and asked us to have targeted job fairs at the Urban League for them. So this is working out really well because we can select candidates that fit exactly what they're looking for, and it's a good use of their time because they can come one time to the Urban League, see a group of candidates, and select who they may want to hire.
So it all works out okay. I mean,
it does.
That's the goal, is to get people who need work,
yes,
and trained and qualified for positions,
yes,
into those positions. So we're kind of helping the employer, helping the employee at the same time.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's an efficient use of our time because with the limited staff, we're able to take care of the needs of a number of employers and job seekers all at the same time.
So people call me all the time after we do our broadcast. People call me all the time and they say, now can I go over to the Urban League and find a job? I says, well, you can make a phone call to the Urban League,
absolutely,
and they can tell you how to get into the pipeline to find a job, and maybe some training programs, that kind of thing. So you're always available for that.
We are.
Yeah. We put your phone number on the screen, too, of 622-0999. There it is right there. That's what I love about our control room producers and directors there. They just put it right there, 622-0999. You can get more information on everything we've been talking about regarding the Urban League. We've got 20 seconds remaining. You're doing okay?
I'm doing well, thank you. We're just moving forward. Lots of exciting growth things going on at the Urban League, and this is going to be a great year.
Okay, good to have you. Good to have you on the broadcast.
Thank you.
Gotta go, running late. Take care.
Kaleidoscope, a weekly public affairs program brought to you in partnership with the Urban League of Greater Cleveland, Kaleidoscope Magazine, and News Channel 5.